just there. And you can see that equities, my concern with equities is the sizable purchase of cheap puts. There was a sizable purchase of cheap puts at the top edges. Interesting that the gamma hasn't yet picked up on it, so people like your spot gammas and various other people hadn't quite even recognized what was going on here. You know, you pay a fortune for their services. And yet for 50 bucks a month, we're telling you there that that big trade is setting up, right? We're telling you there's a big trade setting up. The VXX has. That's all it is. The pricing of the volatility, in other words, the gamma line, was already massively bearish. So we were seeing a fair risk-off sentiment brewing here. Next day's high prints. What do you think, guys? Did we get that sell-off rather well or not? Did we make $4,000 per contract on the sell-off? Were you able to recognize the higher prints here? Were you able to recognize the high print here? Were you able to recognize the London market open as the baseline broke here? Were you able to get a sell print into that sell there? And then the big sell-off. You see it? You see how we tweeted it in advance and we told you about our concerns? You know, we like to share our concerns. You know, we like to have a chat about it. You know, it's always sharing is caring kind of concept. Kim likes me to be more socially aware of what I say and what I do. She says I've got a bad way with me at times, and people, you know, find it quite offensive. And I say, I don't care. So what happens, of course, is that we have to just get on with it. So when we think about sharing and caring, we're thinking about a tweet that tells you that we're really, really worried. We need to get the S&P into a safe space and get it into a safe space really quickly. Really quickly. And that's what we started to see in yesterday's cash markets. And you saw this massive sell-off. Did we know it was going to do that? Well, it depends. The answer is yes. What happens, of course, is that you might say, how did you know it was going to happen? Because there wasn't any correction in yesterday's value. The value stayed incredibly bearish. So when we broke this level here, you started to say to yourself, okay, well, we've now broke that level, which has obviously got a lot of activity at it because we got a buy-side bounce off 75. So we sold off the 10s. We traded 75s. That's what? 35 points. So if we're buying off the 35, where's the target price? 40. 40, right? So we already know exactly where the target price is for this trade. It's going to be 40, which is on this candle right there. That was the target price. And we obviously got a bit of a push through to the bottom edge here. And that was your trade finished. You get the big macro calls right. You get the big macro reads right. And suddenly, sexy stuff begins to happen. Actually, the truth of the matter was this sell trade actually started to develop a lot earlier against the previous high at 46.25. It was actually 46.25s to 45.25s for $5,000, if I'm being honest. But that was from the close of the US session on the previous day, not on last night's business, or sorry, the day before last night's business. So I always think it's good to go back to the big macro calls that people can recognize. The big macro calls that gave us this enormous sell-off with absolute perfection. Absolute perfection. So when we see it, you can't unsee it. Your eyes are drawn to the facts, not to your opinions, to the facts of people trading, not to your opinion about what the market should do, but what people are actually doing. And it's not just somebody in Forex Factory. It's not me that's telling you this, guys. I'm just observing it happening, right? I'm not necessarily telling I'm a seller here. What I'm saying is somebody somewhere has a very, very risk-off sentiment brewing because of the way they're pricing the markets. And that somebody is the market internals. That somebody is the market specialists. So if we can recognize that the market specialists have a very risk-off, bearish tone about them, then obviously what we want to do is take advantage of that bearish tone on a macro scale basis. And you would have made that massive swing profit when it sets up as good as it set up there. It's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? Crazy. But that's the way it goes, guys. Sometimes these crazy things actually make us a fortune, right?